Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Pilot Shane official video. I just came back from my lesson and I thought I'd record this quick YouTube video. Today I will show you what is inside my pilot bag. So, here is my pilot's bag, for those of you wondering what it looks like. So opening my pilot's bag now. So the first thing in my pilot bag is my headset. So these are the ASA headsets, which I really recommend. They're Air Classic headsets, so especially made for pilots, which I particularly use for my flying. I use them for pretty much all my flights, and it's probably one of the most common things you'll find in a pilot's bag. Sometimes what my flying school does is that they allow students to rent a headset where you can borrow a pair of headsets for a lesson and then return it back. So it usually is a birthday 20 or something similar, or even less. Or even one of the David Clark ones. So that's another thing, another type of headset make you might find in a pilot's bag. The next thing in my pilot's bag is my pilot's logbook. So every pilot has one of these. A pilot's logbook is used to record flights that every single pilot has done, whether that's in command or under training. I shall attach a link in the description below where you can get a logbook similar to mine. My flying school gave me mine, however they are available on the internet for purchase. It's also a good thing to note that some pilots have an electronic one, an electronic logbook, so I have one as a backup in case I lose my hard copy one. You can also create Excel spreadsheets, which is quite a good tip. I'll do another video in the future where I shall explain precisely how to fill in a logbook. The first thing in my pilot bag is a checklist for the aircraft I fly. So every pilot has a checklist. I don't think I'm allowed to show what precisely is in the checklist. However, every pilot has a checklist and we have to follow this checklist procedures at certain stages of flight. So for example, pre-flight, so before starting the aircraft's engine, before takeoff, power checks, after start, after takeoff, as well as your hassle stall checklists, radar, and also you have go around and after landing checklists also, including shutdown. So many procedures need to be done during flight and all contained in this checklist. Different aircrafts have different checklists, so they're not all the same. And yeah, that's another thing which pilot has. So the next thing I have in my pilot's bag is my Kneeboard Set. So this contains the kneeboard itself. It also contains my student flight log, where I could write down whatever the ATC air traffic controller says or wants me to read back, and I also have a pen. This is really useful. Pretty much every single pilot I know has one of these, or every single student pilot, I should say. And yeah, they're great for VFR flying. And it has a nice little strap which you can simply unstrap and attach to your leg or arm or anything really. Attach to your leg and take notes on your student flight log. The kneeboard itself has some really useful information, for instance the phonetic alphabet, as well as transponder codes for radio failures, distress or conspicuity when you're in VFR, as well as your VFR cruising levels and IFR cruising level rules, your standard altimeter setting, and also your fader check, which is quite useful. And also obviously the reach up international distress frequency in case I'm flying and something unexpected happens which requires immediate assistance. And also the best thing about this logbook is you can attach your student flight memo to this, and it also folds, so you can attach more things. And the other page also has some more useful information, which is really good. Stuff like incepting aircraft and your light signals, which can be useful when you're doing your cross-country or solo landaways. Another important thing I found in my pilot's bag is charts. So throughout my flight training, maps and charts are used for navigation. They are particularly handy when it comes to qualifying cross-country and your solo landaways, or if you're just flying to another airfield. So a great app which I have on my iPad is Sky Demon. I'll attach some photos in this so you can see. I'll attach a link in the description containing more information about Sky Demon. Essentially it's a Google Maps but in the sky, and it's really helpful for us training airline pilots. In my pilot's bag are my flight training books. This is particularly useful for going over certain exercises, which will be covered again in my course, a great revision technique, and something really great to read prior to your lessons. The next thing I have in my pilot's bag is my filming equipment, so my GoPro gear. So I use GoPro to film all my flying. So this is the GoPro Hero 9 case. I also use this to hold a Hero 8. Obviously I'm using these cameras now to film, so I can't really show you the GoPros at this moment in time. But I will do a separate video on how I precisely film all my flying and record audio. Not every pilot has one of these or records all their flying, but yep, it's another thing I have in my pilot's bag. As we are on the topic of filming my flying, another thing I have in my pilot's bag is my audio set. So this contains the LAV mic I use and the smartphone adapter. The BLI XXO is the company I use to record all the audio for all my flying. So all the YouTube videos you see is recorded by this LAV mic. I will do a separate video on precisely how everything is set up in the flight deck. The next thing in my pilot's bag is my flight school folder. So I think this is more of an optional thing, but sometimes I keep it in there, sometimes I don't. So all my airwork exercises are included in here. In general, there's some really useful information. I've got some of my EOSA ground school notes in here also. And last but not least, I have my iPad. So not every pilot would take the iPad along with them or the EFB, but I take mine and it contains everything from my Sky Demons, Crucial Apps, onboard performance tools, and even my EOSA ground school notes. So yes, it's a very handy piece of equipment, and it's another thing you find in a pilot's bag. Another thing in my pilot's bag is a water bottle. So I speak for all student pilots here, but it's really thirsty in the cockpit, especially when you're flying for a long period of time. Usually my lessons are between 1 to 2 hours, but some lessons are even 3 hours long. So it's really handy to take a water bottle because it does get thirsty in that cockpit, especially in the summer. And another thing I take in my pilot's bag is my earphones. So usually if I'm commuting to the airfield, just listen to music and keep them in the front compartment, which is a nice little compartment. Useful for holding small items such as earphones. So that's pretty much everything in my student pilot's bag. So to summarise, I take my headsets, my GoPro filming gear, my kneeboard set, which includes my student flight memo and pens, pencils, as well as the folding kneeboard itself. I also take my checklist, and I also take my audio set, which I use to record the audio for my flying. Finally, I also take my water bottle and some useful small books which contain useful information in regards to comms or emergency procedures. And that's it, guys. That's pretty much everything in my pilot's bag. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM or email me, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully that shed a light on what's in a student pilot's bag. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed watching it, and subscribe for more aviation and flying content. Thanks for watching, guys. Speak to you soon.